7-year-old who spots a shiny treasure at the bottom of a pool uncovers its history. In 2020, a 7-year-old boy named Theo made the find of a decade at an Idaho hot spring resort, living out every treasure hunter's dream. The precious item he spotted was thought to have been lost forever, though something about its curious appearance made the resort owners try a different tactic to trace back its history. Young Theo was on vacation with his mom over at Trinity Hot Springs in Featherville, Idaho. The boy was very adventurous and was excited to explore the waters. Since he was very small, he was a pro at finding hidden treasures. In pre-K, his teachers would bury little treasures in the playground sandbox for the children to find. Theo would find most, if not all of them, so to ensure there'd be enough for the other kids, he was not allowed in the sandbox. But at the Featherville resort, he would have no limitations whatsoever. Flash forward to Theo at the hot springs. As he swam and explored, he noticed something shiny among the rocks of the pool's floor. He reached down and fished it out of the waters, recognizing what it was right away. The treasure was a wedding ring, and a very beautiful one at that. Although Theo took great pride in his treasure hunting skills, he knew what the right thing to do was. With his mom proudly supporting him, Theo gave the ring to the resort staff, who had a lead on who the owner was. Trinity Hot Springs keeps a log of lost, not yet found records. There was one woman on the list who happened to leave a report that she'd lost her ring. They gave her a call right away. Unfortunately, that woman was not the owner. She had found her ring later the same day she filed the report, but the report wasn't updated to reflect that. With no other leads, the resort owners decided to take to social media. They posted on Facebook about the missing ring, but left no description of it. This was to keep the ring safe from strangers hoping to pawn it off and make fast yet easy money. They had to be alert for messages from scammers looking to make a buck. Sherry McClure Lowry had spotted Trinity Hot Springs' post and connected with them through the comments section. She had an old photograph of her missing ring that was a little blurry. In Sherry's words, it was a long shot for sure. Sherry had stayed over at Trinity Hot Springs back in the late 70s. When she realized she had lost her wedding ring, the staff immediately took action, scavenging the pool for her ring. They could not find it. Over the decades, the Hot Springs Resort would clean out the pool and search for many other lost items. Some were found while some weren't, including Sherry's ring. It just seemed gone. For more than 40 years, Sherry thought she would never see the symbol of her and her spouse's love. There would always be a question of what happened to her precious keepsake, until little Theo made the incredible discovery. After commenting on Trinity Hot Springs' post and sharing her photograph, the resort was ecstatic to see the ring in the photograph was the very same ring that was found. All that was left was to reunite them in person. Dozens of family and friends took to the comments section overjoyed with the unexpected find. Sherry and her family made plans to visit the resort and reclaim her prized possession. They had help from the Trinity Hot Springs staff, who planned to book them on a very fitting holiday. The Facebook post was shared on February 10, 2020, right in the nick of time for the holiday of love, Valentine's Day. Since the holiday was just a few days away, Sherry and her friends believed there would be no availability, but the Springs Resort would not let them lose this wonderful opportunity. Trinity Hot Springs commented back, letting them know there was some availability and even offering a package deal for the whole group. With that, celebration ensued, and another familiar name jumped onto the comments section. Rebecca Bloom, Theo's mother, also commented under the post. She shared how proud she was of her 7-year-old boy who chose to do the right thing and give Sherry closure. She said Theo will be thrilled that they're able to find the owner. Trinity Hot Springs replied to Rebecca. As reward for her finding and turning in Sherry's wedding ring, Trinity Hot Springs gave a 1-year annual membership for Theo and an adult, most likely his mom Rebecca, with a 5-punch pass. The owner of the resort was delighted to hear all the good news. The owner of Trinity Hot Springs, Dana Stream, was impressed by how everything seemed to perfectly fall into place. She considered this a remarkable way to be reminded of love. Speaking of love, the little treasure hunter himself had some special words to share with Sherry. In an interview, Theo said he hopes to continue his treasure hunting, hopefully finding 2 rings next time. The pure-hearted boy ended the interview with a message to Sherry: "Happy Valentine's Day." Thanks to the very curious Theo, Sherry finally reunited with her ring, and she and her family looked forward to a wonderful vacation. Though Theo's discovery only encouraged him to continue his treasure hunting, his parents warned him about the dangers of such an unusual hobby.